The Tudor Snowflake is back, and I'm excited. Hey guys, I'm Max and this is Watch Crunch. WatchCrunch.com is an online meeting place for watch enthusiasts to have more fun and positive watch discussions. More about that at the end of the video. If you follow this channel for a while, you know that I've had a history with the Tudor Snowflake. This vintage diver was originally issued to commandos of the French Navy in the 70s and was always sort of a grail watch of mine. Also known as the Green Berets, this elite fighting force within the French Navy specialized in things like reconnaissance, hostage extractions, and underwater demolition. So you can imagine my excitement when after 5 decades Tudor revived this historical watch in the Marine Nationale FXD. FXD stands for fixed, referring to the integrated lug design. Tudor worked with the French commandos on this design, and spring bars were determined to be a weak point of the case. So right out of the gate, you can tell that this is an enthusiast watch. You either understand this watch through the lens of its history as a tool for the military, or you're left scratching your head at this weird design choice. Yes, this means no bracelets, but if a bracelet is what you need, Tudor has the regular Pelagos for you. Now, I for one commend Tudor for taking a chance and doing something different. It's authentic to the real world use case and stands out from the countless other mid-range divers out there. Compared with the normal Pelagos, the MN's color is a deeper navy blue. This, along with the completely brushed case and a lack of a date window, gives the watch a no-nonsense tool-like feel. The fit and finish is typical Tudor, that is to say, superb. The bi-directional countdown bezel has a satisfying click, and all the touch points are well considered. But one drawback of making an actually useful bezel is that you need to stuff it full of markings, and this aesthetically can feel busy and might not be everyone's cup of tea. But say it again with me, there's always the normal Pelagos if this bothers you. What enthusiasts will love is that it echoes the vintage 9401 Snowflake design. Snowflake was the endearing name given to the big square hour hand, and this square theme is replicated in the hour markers, with rectangles at 3, 6, and 9, and the signature triangle at 12. This, to me, is harmonious, and all these shapes have sharp angles at 90 degrees or less, communicating a certain forcefulness or aggression. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the Kiki Booba experiment. When shown two shapes, 95% of participants assigned Booba to the rounded shape and Kiki to the spiky one. Compare this now with the BB58, which also adds circles to the mix, and with its curves, just kind of breaks up the visual consistency for me. Guys, please drop a like for this video, and also consider subscribing if you tolerate this crazy talk about how shapes make me feel. Now, one way this watch differs from the original is in its sizing. Though slim at 12.7, the diameter is a modern 42 millimeters. The 51mm lug-to-lug made me shudder when I saw the press release, fearing that my 6.5-inch wrist will never get to pretend to be attached to a Green Beret. However, once I tried the watch on in person, I was relieved that I can just barely pull it off. The combination of integrated lugs, the slimness of the case, makes it very wearable at 42. And this is helped by 2 single-pass Nato straps included, of which I prefer the fabric one. Though the Velcro end flares out a bit, the quality is impressive as Tudor woven straps are made on old-school looms in the Julien Farr factory in Lyon, France. Now, the watch has a titanium construction, which is about half the density of steel. Now, some complain that titanium lacks the heft of steel, but I don't really find this to be the case with the FXD. The watch feels substantial on the wrist, and I find the slightly darker shade of the metal to parallel its rugged personality. Now, a number of things were done to slim this watch down. We've lost the helium escape valve, and in the process, the water resistance is down from 500 to 200 meters. A subtle change is also the reduction of the gap between the dial and the flat sapphire crystal. Though this Pelagos loses that wraparound chapter ring you used to get, a thinner rehaut gives you a sense of quality when you catch the watch from an angle and just realize how close all of these elements like the hands and dial and crystal are pancaked together, but moving about while staying out of each other's way. By the way, in Max's watch feels dictionary, pancake is good, dinner plate is bad. Don't ask me why. The case back is solid with a traditional Marine Nationale engraving, behind which lives the caliber MT5602, an in-house 4 Hz workhorse that is COSC certified with 70 hours of power reserve and both anti-magnetic and anti-shock attributes. All of the elements on this dial and bezel are filled with superluminova that emit an impressive blue glow if you happen to catch it after dusk. So the new Pelagos FXD isn't for everyone. Rather, I think it's made for the die-hard fans who will happily trade some conveniences for the narrative and the quirk. At its very reasonable price of $3,900, I think it represents an interesting alternative to the Black Bay 58, especially if you got the wrist for it. I feel that with this watch, Tudor is further differentiating the brand from its big brother Rolex. Rather than a poor man's Rolex, I now see Tudor as a more vintage-inspired, history-driven, and enthusiast brand that happens to be more affordable than the unobtainium status that Rolex has taken. Speaking of which, we developed WatchCrunch.com to be an enthusiast platform for talking watches. Now, recently it came to my attention that someone WatchCrunch hired to do social media marketing created an Instagram account where they were reposting photos from other watch accounts in order to promote WatchCrunch. Though they were giving credit in the description, I asked myself as a creator if this was acceptable, and the answer was an unequivocal no. So I met with the team and the account is now deleted, and I was assured this would never happen again. WatchCrunch will always be supportive and responsive to the community. So come join us. Let me know your thoughts on the Marine Nationale FXD, and as always, take care, and I'll talk to you next time.